sure.
We didn't watch the Oscars last night, but we do have an Oscar ballot, which I shared as a short on the channel. So we were keeping track of everything, and we tied. Yesterday we tied with our
7-7.
7-7 with our guesses. But congrats to the Honora team that won. Sean Baker won, I guess, more awards that we were reading than any other person ever in the history of the Oscars. He won for...
Well, in one time. For one film.
For one film, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
In one Oscar season, for one film, one person, he won the most.
Yeah. The only clip I saw really was the one of... we saw a couple of clips of Conan O'Brien hosting the Oscars, but the only one I really watched all the way through, I think, was the Kieran Culkin acceptance speech, which was really entertaining. And good for him, too. I'm happy for him. It was one of the predictions I had. I thought it was really going to be his year, and it feels like, as a Best Supporting Actor. But I'm happy for everybody. The Oscars are always an interesting competition. Dune 2 won some awards. I was disappointed about The Wild Robot. I wish The Wild Robot had won, because I thought that was really good. I haven't seen Flow, but I guess we can watch that on Max, right?
I think so, yeah.
We went out early today, get some Dunkin' and talk about the Oscars a little bit, but...
That's right. Yeah, we only had 2 of the same picks. I think we picked Dune 2 for sound, maybe?
Sound, yeah.
Or something, and we both picked Kieran Culkin for supporting actor, so I'm excited about that for him.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing that ABC is one of the only services that it's very expensive to stream, but it's fun, just like refreshing and looking for the results.
Yeah, I was watching I started watching on YouTube, the red carpet stuff, and but there were too many commercials. They break for commercials like they would, I guess, on regular TV. Yeah. I think I was reading, if you have an antenna, you can plug in an antenna, and you can get ABC, right?
Maybe we need to look into that.
Maybe we should. Yeah, a lot of people I think do that. They just have an antenna on the back of their TV, and then you can get the local channels. So. And we're watching a lot of, I know we've said this before in the vlog, but we're watching a lot of Pluto TV, watching a lot of Love Boat, just to have on. I think that's becoming a comfort show, but anyway, it was fun. It was fun to watch, or not to watch, but it was fun to just kind of follow along with the awards last night as we were doing other things.
Yeah.
And so we had a good night. I figure you put the Tuesday right there. Tuesday will be right there.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
I got to start over now. Well, you've probably already seen Tuesday on the screen because it is Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Last night I was watching, of course, I'm still sad over the death of Gene Hackman, and was thinking about Gene Hackman movies, and I noticed that Crimson Tide was on special on Fandango at Home. I think it was like $4.99, and so I bought it over the weekend, and I don't have physical media for it, but I'm sure you'll put the graphic up here so we can see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I really liked it a lot. Crimson Tide is a really underrated Gene Hackman movie. Denzel Washington is amazing in it. You see a very young James Gandolfini. Mm-hmm. Steve Zahn is in it briefly, I think he is. I don't know. Maybe we were confusing him with.
Well, Viggo Mortensen is in it.
Viggo Mortensen. Maybe we were confusing him.
He has like a similar look to Steve Zahn.
I thought he had a smaller part. I thought I saw Steve Zahn in the credits, but I could be wrong.
Maybe because there was one scene where like, oh, that's Steve Zahn.
Yeah, but we got confused maybe a little bit, But anyway, Gene Hackman plays a really. In a lot of the performances. You were mentioning that he plays kind of a grumpy character. This is more of a grumpy character than...
Yeah, well,
it's more than a grumpy character. He's really nasty in this one.
Gene Hackman is usually very stern.
Yeah.
He's a stern man. You don't mess around with him. He's not all that lighthearted or humorous. I don't think I've ever seen him like...
I think Royal Tenenbaum's right. He's funny in that.
But he's still kind of like a stern,
Isn't he in the Birdcage, though?
Yeah, but he plays like U.S. Senator.
Oh, so he's
he's always very stern. Right. He's very like serious to the point. Like he doesn't mess around. He's all business all the time.
But if you haven't seen Crimson Tide, I highly recommend it. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't seen it in years. I don't have, like I said, I think the DVD Blu-ray is a little hard to find or it's expensive. So I thought I would just get a digital copy until they re-release it. If it, you know, you never know whether a lot of these things are going to get re-released or not. So, but
Right.
you know, it's better to have more Gene Hackman movies than less Gene Hackman movies. I mean, I have a lot of them, as I showed from last week's vlog, but this one was really a favorite, and it's very dramatic. You know, he plays a submarine captain who has, it's kind of like Mutiny on the Bounty a little bit. There is a mutiny that happened. I hope I don't spoil it, but there's a mutiny that happens on the ship, on the, you know, the submarine. You know, Denzel Washington, like I said, is really amazing in it, and they both just really give commanding performances in the movie.
Did you mean to put a pun there?
Did I?
Commanding
performances? I guess I didn't. That was unintended. That was an unintended pun.
Because they're commanding the submarine.
They're commanding
together?
the submarine. I forgot about that. Yeah, it reminded me of like Ice Station Zebra, which it's probably not even close to. I just remember when the submarine is diving, you know, everybody leans to one side or whatever. You have to imagine that they do like these clips of the submarine, which it seemed like in the beginning they were on a real submarine, but it was probably green screened or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really read into the.
I think sometimes like it's kind of like an airplane, like they build it.
Yeah.
And like it kind of like the set, I think, kind of like comes apart, so you can get like different angles of like this.
Oh, maybe.
Submarine.
Oh, could be. Yeah. I haven't read any of the backstory, but maybe somebody will know in the comments. Let us know if you read the backstory about it.
It's hard to film in a submarine.
I don't think they actually were. I think.
Like, because there are like decommissioned submarines that you can visit, like go on tours and stuff, like at the Maritime Museum and things like that.
That you could do.
But I would imagine it would be very difficult to film because it's such a small space.
I don't know. I mean, somebody in the comments probably will let us know, because I haven't looked up the history of it. But Tony Scott directed the movie, who did he did Top Gun, right? And he did Days of Thunder. We've been watching Mission Impossible movies. So speaking of Tom Cruise. Well, there's also some Star Trek reference in the movie too, which I thought was pretty funny. Direct Star Trek references in the movie, because there's a guy who has to try to fix the radio where they're supposed to be receiving these secret messages, and the radio is not working. And so Denzel Washington has a conversation with the guy and says, like, "Do you remember Star Trek where Captain Kirk was always talking to Scotty about fixing the engines and everything like that?" It has like a big we need more power and stuff. He's like, "This is your moment. This is your moment for, this is that moment, in Star Trek."
Right.
So anyway, lots of entertaining things about the movie, but basically the performances of Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. And Gene Hackman's got a little dog in the movie too, which is very cute. Anyway, there's so many great things about it.
But it's a tense movie.
It is a tense movie. Just because there's a dog in it doesn't mean it's not a very tense movie. But it is a little bit of a relief maybe when you see the dog.
Yeah, for like a second.
Yeah. I was just remembered the dog does go to the bathroom on the ship. Speaking of relief.
Well, because
that's another unintended pun, I guess.
Well, because he takes his dog everywhere, and I saw the scene, and I'm like, he takes the dog on the submarine? Like, you can't.
I know.
You can't leave the submarine.
I know, and then you realize it's the set. They could take the dog on the set. So anyway, that's our Tuesday so far.
Plus, he smokes a cigar, and I'm like, he's gonna smoke a cigar in a submarine?
I know. I was like, where does all that? It's the smoke must cloud up the the bridge and everything too.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were reading a book, but I was watching. But you heard a lot of it. I tried to keep it low because it gets very loud in certain parts. But
yeah, it was good though.
I thought it was well done.
Yeah.
We just got back from the store, and it's warm enough to open the windows today, which is really nice. The sun is out, really beautiful. Probably maybe not be able to see much here. Let me see if I can show a little bit of it, but it's really beautiful. Nice to see. There's I'm sure this is true for any place where you have seasons, but the energy of spring is really incredible. We might still have you can still see some snow here, but so we might still have some colder days, but it looks like we'll have a few warmer days, and it's really a welcome change after a very cold winter. Not a lot of snow, but very, very cold. So anyway, we're feeling really good today and really had a good, energetic day. It's not spring yet, of course, but very beautiful here now. Now that we've finished watching all the Mission Impossible films, we're going to start to rewatch all of the Jurassic Park films from start to finish, and or from the first one to the last one, right?
Yeah.
So we can get ready for Jurassic Park, the reboot, the rebirth,
The Jurassic World Rebirth.
Jurassic World Rebirth.
We'll just call it the new one.
The new one. The new Jurassic Park. We're getting ready for the new Jurassic Park. But anyway, we're going to start at the beginning. Keep watching the films. Let us know if you have a favorite in the comments below. And we'll let you know how it goes. And maybe we'll do some ranking also. I do have a ranking of all the Mission Impossible films up on my Letterboxd. So, and we're planning to make a video about it. So I was just making a little short about Jurassic Park, and I noticed that this is a DVD set, which I can't believe I haven't upgraded this to Blu-ray. I think this happens sometimes with collectors too. Like this, we haven't really revisited the Jurassic Park movies, but we do want to watch them all before the new one comes out. And so we're just looking for a Blu-ray set. They do have a 4K set, which looks to be on sale. So I'll probably upgrade this to 4K. However, I do love this packaging. I love this set. Even though it's a DVD set, it's really, I love the cover. I mean, it's much better, it seems to me, than the 4K set. So I'll probably keep this. This is not something I would maybe donate because I just love I love Jurassic Park, at least you know, some of the films. And so probably keep this, but maybe we'll upgrade this to 4K. We're just getting ready to do a Mission Impossible ranking video, which will probably already be on the channel. But I just noticed that one of the movies I forgot to talk, one of the Gene Hackman movies I forgot to talk about last week is this movie Heist, which I have on DVD. That's a great picture of Gene Hackman on the cover here. Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito, Delroy Lindo, and on the back it just says Gene Hackman plays Cool Fire Joe. Delroy Lindo portrays his longtime sidekick, and Danny DeVito plays the manipulative fence who saddles Joe with one last difficult job in this ensemble-driven, caper-centered, on an elaborate split-second snatching of gold ingots by Joe and his crew. Writer-director David Mamet prowls the unsentimental avenues of film noir in a story rife with double-cross, triple-cross, and trademark Mamet dialogue. So I'm a big fan of David Mamet, and this is definitely a favorite. I probably should upgrade this one too. I think there has to be a Blu-ray on this one, I thought, but anyway, I'll keep the DVD until I upgrade it. It's another great Gene Hackman movie. Let me know if you have another favorite in the comments.
What?
Why are we getting so many reminders of the fall lately? What's happening? What's even happening?
Today, March 5th.
March 5th. What's the date? March 5th.
March 5th. Apparently, we've been seeing ads for things coming in September and the fall time.
I know. What's going on? I just saw on Instagram, I just saw an ad for the Emmys, September 14th. Save the date. Why do we have to save the date now? It's not even spring yet.
That's right. And then I just saw, we're watching basketball, and I just saw that the NBA is coming to Peacock and NBC in the fall. But it's March.
What's happening? I don't even know. Let us get through the summer first, please.
Well, at least spring. Can we do the spring
Let's do spring, summer, then we do fall, right? It's just getting warm here. Why would we
remind us of the fall, at the end of springtime?
We know fall's coming. We know it's coming at some point.
It's we got a lot of time before then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just give us some time. Of course, many people I've been reading online are getting ready for the Jaws 50th anniversary. 50 years since the movie Jaws was released, which, as you know from the channel, is still my favorite movie after all these years. But we just noticed that the Alamo Drafthouse is having some screenings over Memorial Day weekend for Jaws. We don't have an Alamo Drafthouse near us, but do we need to go to Boston for this?
There's one in Florida too.
We can go to one in Florida. We can go to Boston, but it would be another road trip. I'm not really sure, but
yeah. They're having a couple parties. They're also having a Jumanji party, in a couple of weeks, and a Hunger Games party in April.
I love how they have the dun dun dun. They spelled it out in this article. Dun instead of dun 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 dun. They did dun dun dun. I don't think that's right. It should be dun 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 dun. Nothing quite says. Nothing quite says, summer, like watching an elusive giant shark terrorize Amity Island on the big screen. It's the movie that perfected the summer blockbuster and launched a million toothy and goofy knockoffs. but none of them can compete with the bite of Spielberg's 1975 original. The bona fide classic. So this is the, I guess, let me see, I can read more here. I'm just reading online. Look at this, the Jaws movie party. I know you can't see the video that I'm shooting right now, but you'll see it later in the post. The Jaws movie party, and if that wasn't enough, this is a movie party, so you can live the shark hunting adventure along with your pals Brody, Hooper, and Quint, minus the salty sea air and actual mortal peril. Featuring shark hats, yellow floaty drink holders.
Wow.
Caution, very susceptible to shark attacks, and a boat-shaped bath bomb with a great white shark in the center. It's the most fourth wall busting fun you can have on dry land. This might be too much excitement for us, but it does sound fun.
Well, I was looking at the theater in Florida, and it looks like there's not that many seats in the theater that they're having the party, so I would imagine this might sell out kind of quickly.
And also, the little shark fins have dumb. I don't know. Someone's got to get this right because it's not. I think it's dun. I don't even know what it is anymore.
They have like 40 seats in the theater.
Oh boy, that's not enough. We're gonna need a bigger theater. We were just getting ready for spring, and all of a sudden, it started to snow again today. It's a little bit loud maybe in the background because we have the microwave going, but I really thought maybe we wouldn't have any more snow, but I guess you can see it's covering the ground a little bit down there. Oh boy, I was all ready for spring. We can never get enough of King of Queens. I think we watch this show every single day usually, and we've seen it so many times, but it's really a comfort show for us. And I wanted to show again a little bit more of the snow, which is coming down even harder than it was before. And it's where is the spring now? I think the spring will be here soon. I'm still hopeful it'll be here soon. It's very quiet here.
Sounds like we're in a ship.
I know. Oh, look at that. They have like a chart on the wall so you can... So many birds over here, right?
Yeah.
Every time we see the geese, we think of Brightbill and the Wild Robot.
Yeah.
That's... What a great movie that is, right? And you read the book and I read the book, and it's a good movie, right?
Yeah, it's very good. It should have won an Oscar.
I know. We still have to see Flo. We have to watch Flo.
Yeah.
There's probably a short clip of us in the doctor's office. We had to go to the doctor's. It's Friday. Hope everybody had a great week. We're looking forward to the weekend and maybe some warmer weather, but we had to go for a hearing test today.
Yeah.
Went for a hearing test. My first hearing test in many years, probably 20 years. I don't think I've had a hearing test. And it was really interesting what they did too, because I don't know if I mentioned this to you because you were in the other room watching me.
Yeah.
But there was a test where you have to listen for sounds, which I think I did pretty good on. And then there's another test where you have to repeat the word that they say. But then there's a third test where there's a sentence and you have to say the last word you hear in the sentence.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like I was in like one of those, isolation booths, where they have like, how that, do you remember when we watched that show Tattletales?
I think so,
that old game show where it's a husband and wife and they have one of the...
they go into the booth and they have to like answer
There's an isolation booth, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. And I'm, I get a little claustrophobic in those situations. Yeah. And but I was in this little room, and you're in the other room, and I couldn't really see you because the glass was very small. But I think I liked that part of the test the best because there was a sentence, and you said the end of the, the end of the sentence, you said the word, right? Yeah. And I feel like you probably do this too, but. All of my training from school comes back, and I just want to do the best I can on the hearing test. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to do whatever it is, but I feel like, anyway, so that's what we're doing Friday night. But we did get a pizza from Wegmans today, so we're going to try a meat lover's pizza from Wegmans. Right. And that's it. I don't know what else to say. Do you have anything else to say?
How was your hearing?
How was my hearing? It was, I think, as we went over the results, we spent a lot of time going over the results with the technician, and it wasn't good,
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good.
That's true. Yeah.
I had some hearing loss, which I guess it makes sense for someone my age, I suppose, to have some hearing loss. But and I really initially went in because I have a little tinnitus or tinnitus, every time I see the ENT, you could say it either way, tinnitus or tinnitus, apparently. So I don't know. I guess I'll just go back for another hearing test at some point, and we'll consider what we're going to do. But it was an interesting experience, that's for sure.
Yep.
And I don't think I have anything else to say about it, other than I thought the window would be larger so I could see you in there. I could wave, because I did wave to you one time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to do that. And we were hoping to get a photo in there too or something, because I haven't done the hearing test in a while.
Right.
But it didn't work out. But anyway, that's our Friday. Hope everyone has a great weekend. We have fun doing these vlogs. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it.